You're a CEO and an executive director of an organization that has 35,000 members, obtains a lot of information. How do you, for our listeners to understand kind of, you're more educated in cyber than another CEO per se. How concerned are you about cyber personally? For in terms of tag and in terms of just as you see it kind of impacting the ecosystem here with, Atlanta's a hotbed for breaches, unfortunately. The city of Atlanta, Equifax, Home Depot, Delta, to name, some of our larger companies here, including not some of the small ones. How concerned are you with cyber?
Well, very. And we should all be, both at a personal level as well as at a corporate level and at a society, at a national defense. It's a whole new world. I moderated a panel about, say 5 years ago, where I had two large Fortune 100 companies on the panel, and then a startup guy. I'll say a startup guy from Austin. And, I asked that question to them. What are you doing to, provide, security and privacy to your customers? And the first big company says, well, at my company, we care deeply about security and privacy, and we do the utmost. Second large company. At my company, we care very deeply about security and privacy for our company,
the scripted
and
answers.
we do the utmost. And then the startup guy from Austin says, privacy's dead. And if you think differently, you're really just fooling yourself. And I look over at the other two people, and they're staring at their shoes. Don't make eye contact. Okay. Fast forward 5 years. Imagine same panel, same two large companies, different startup dude from Austin. Same conversation, same question, same answers from the big guys, same answer from the startup guy. The only thing difference is the two folks with the big companies, they were no longer staring at their shoes. They'd given the party line, but they were looking up and nodding their heads in the affirmative. It's a different world. We have to think about active defense. We have to think about our personal data, what's happening to it. So everything about, changing the passwords, changing the access, making sure that we are actively defending ourselves and our data is very important. I mean, how often do we go on to banking? Now, having said that, we're all out there now. Our data's out there. Our information is out there. It's easy to find information about people, and you have to be very selective about what you want people to see. Some you don't have a choice at this stage, and then some others you can start to pull it back. But then that goes up into what the large companies are dealing with, as well as the small and medium-sized companies, because these can be real deal breakers for companies. So just going back, so what we're trying to do is provide education, provide awareness, and provide the tools. So let's just go beyond education and awareness, but really tools that companies can use and take back to their companies and actually implement so that they can actually stay at the forefront of what the trends are. Because this is changing daily, James. You know this. I mean, this is not a, at a blink of an eye, it changes.
It's the next threat. I mean, it's from hardware to software to intrusions. What knowledge do you wish every executive had in cyber? And I know this is really general, right? And it's kind of picking on you, Larry, on this one, and just being like, if you could get in the ear of every single CEO and whisper something in their ear about cybersecurity, what would you whisper?
It's real. It's real, and it needs your attention. You are going to be the one.
Give me goosebumps on that one.
Okay. You're going to, buck stops with you, CEO. And, this isn't this is no longer, you gave the perfect example with Maersk, and there are other ones, not to pick on Maersk. It can happen, and it can happen to you, and it's going to affect, it's no longer just, hey, we lost a few account numbers. That's real revenue. It's going to cost you money. It's going to cost your stockholders money.
It's going to cost you your job.
It's going to cost you your job. It's going to cost, your board of directors. We've said take it to the C-suite. I think you got to take it to the board of directors. They need to know what your plan is. And so let's flip that conversation a little
Let's do
bit.
it.
So let's think about people that are being very proactive about it, that are very much doing it and have that awareness and have that level of insight about not only what companies need to be doing, but what they're doing about it and how they can communicate that not only within the C-suite, but down the ranks of their employees, the consumer-facing organizations, whether consumer-facing or if they're B2B, being able to communicate that, and then also to the board of directors, and then also to shareholders. I mean, companies now and people that are investing, they want to know, what are you doing to protect our interests across the board?
The CyberHub Engage podcast is sponsored by CyberHub Academy. CyberHub Academy are cyber business operation experts, helping any size business operationalize cybersecurity within their organization, whether it be tabletop exercises, security assessments, or building a cybersecurity strategy. For more, go to cyberhubacademy.com.